Around your block to around the world, the Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning, and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. I'm your host, Larry Rodarte, filling in for Art during his vacation, and it feels good to be here in the station this early. I'm never up this early, right? But how's everyone doing this Monday, June 20th, 2022? On today's show, I have a dear friend of mine as my guest in the studio. I had to drag her in here, and she is known to many people throughout the Great Lakes Bay region. She is the owner of Shapers Aveda Salon and Day Spa over on Center Street in the township, and she is a long-time entrepreneur who has had her business operating for more than 30 years. Can you believe that? 30 years, and she's making people beautiful every day, and her name is Sylvia Garcia Ortega. And her son, Donovan Ortega, is joining us, as well as half the owner of Don Angelo's Aveda Lifestyle Salon in Uptown Bay City. They are making people beautiful, like I said, in the Great Lakes Bay region. Sylvia and Donovan, good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? It's been an incredibly long time since we have interacted because of the pandemic. It's been, I think I've seen Sylvia maybe only twice in the last 3 years, maybe. And, you know, how are you getting along now that we're kind of finally coming out of the dark?
Things are good. It feels nice to be somewhat back to normal, start seeing our regular friends and families again. So things are good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You know, it feels wonderful. I saw Sylvia. I didn't get to see you, Donovan, but I know you were there at the Cinco de Mayo festival in early May.
Well, I had to make it a point for you to see me.
Yes. And it was so awesome because you came out of nowhere and all of a sudden you were right there, right when I was coming off the stage with Michael Salgado, and it was just so nice to see old friends there that have been with me in my career all these years, from the very first Cinco de Mayo that we did in 2009 in terms of me running the Cinco de Mayo. So, you know, it was really comforting to see you, Sylvia. So thank you for that. But I want my listeners out there to understand where you were born, where you come from, and talk a little bit about your early life in Saginaw.
Well, I was born right here in Saginaw on the east side. I went to Saginaw High.
A Trojan.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And as being a Hispanic in June was exciting because we were going to see all our cousins. They came from Texas to go to Traverse City and pick cherries. So June was a fun month to be a Hispanic and get ready for the summer. So
you were picking cherries with your family. What time period are we talking? Like
June 20th.
June 20th
is when they came down. I know that because I have a birthday in June. So I'd always know June 20th. We'd be so excited because all our cousins were gonna be here. And my father, he was awesome. He would make sure that everybody had a place to stay and, you know, carnitas and go to the bottle grocery and tortillas. And it was exciting to be a Mexican in the summer.
Because you were getting together with all your family, extended family, cousins,
and you were done with school.
Tias and Theos, and you were headed up to pick cherries in Traverse City. And don't we love those cherries every year? I still love the Traverse City cherries. I remember going to Traverse City very young as well with my family camping, and I didn't pick the cherries. I did one time, but you know, it wasn't something that we did.
You're one of those little rich kids.
Oh, Sylvia, you had to go there. But you know what? Tell us a little bit about who your father was, because I know he was an entrepreneur as well here in the city of Saginaw, and some people may remember him.
Well, my father, to me, was a pretty amazing man. He was a migrant worker, and then General Motors was hiring. And so he got a job with General Motors. And then he was, he was a plumber. He learned how he could make and do anything. My son Angelo reminds me of him because he's so much like him.
Really?
Yeah. He's just, get up in the morning and start working on stuff. then we had, in June, we had a tragedy. We had a sister that passed away on the way to the migrant field. And my older sister Betty was in the car also, and cousins. So we lost her. My sister Yolanda passed.
It was a car accident.
It was a car accident right on the way to the fields. So my mother, who was a homemaker, she was home. Back then, there wasn't counseling or stuff for people to handle
Grief. Yeah.
So my dad buys her a store.
What do you mean he bought her a store?
Well, there was a store. It's called Wsgw Groceries.
Over there by Weber.
Yep.
Weber Junior High.
Yep. And he bought her the store, and she was amazing at what she did. She learned how to speak English. She had a very comical spirit about her. She was just that person that had that great personality. And I grew up. That's where I grew up, under the counter.
And that was the name of the store, was La Azteca?
La Azteca Groceries.
Okay, yeah. So you grew up there. Your dad buys this store to help your mother grieve because you lost a sister. And how long did they run that store there?
They ran that store over 25 years. And my dad still continued to work at the plant. My mother ran the store, and we all helped because that was part of it. You just got up and on the way to the store.
And that's part of what I think a lot of the stories here in Saginaw is with many of the Hispanics or Mexican Americans. They came as migrant workers and they were working the fields locally. And then they were hired into the plants. Gray Iron Plant was hiring many in those days. And they found, which was to them, their American dream. That's where they settled their families and they were able to have a good life, making good top dollars. And then they had many outside jobs.
They were hard workers.
Very hard workers, yes. And, my family was the same way with my Dia side. My mother's family, both my grandfather and my great-grandfather got jobs at the Gray Iron Plant. And so your dad had this entrepreneurial spirit. We talk about that so much. He worked really hard. We know that generation really worked hard.
Super hard.
And is that where you get your spirit from, your entrepreneurial spirit to start a business and do what you did? Because we need to talk about that. What started you on your trajectory in your career to start Shapers the Salon?
I think when you grow up in a small business, it's just in you. So I started working at Jacobson's. I was a competition. Back then you'd compete with other hairdressers, and I did very well with that. And there was an article in the paper, and a realtor got a hold of me, and we went to go look at this building on the west side. That's where I knew I had to be.
And what was the name of that building at that time?
It was called the Golden Touch.
The Golden Touch. I remember that. You're talking to like the 80s, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the building needed a lot of work. And we were raised that you went in a place and, you paint it, you clean it, and you make it your own.
And that's what she did. The Golden Touch became, was it Shapers right away? Shapers the Salon?
Yeah, we knew we didn't want anything with hair in it, and I didn't want anything with just a short word. And so Shapers, getting your hair shaped, and just seemed to fit.
And how many years ago was that? I mean, I know it's at least 30 years, correct?
I believe it's 33 years.
33 years. That's a long time to have that business.
Long. And I always go by your age, Donovan.
Yeah.
Because the boys were so little.
Yeah.
They were just little guys. Angela and Donovan were just little guys.
And I remember around 1995, I was getting married.
Yep.
And I had just come back after living in Detroit for about 10 years. Came back home to Saginaw because Mi Gente took off, the publication, the magazine that I publish. And I walked into Shapers. And there was Sylvia. We had talked briefly on the phone, and I asked if I could use your towers that you had there at the salon for my
Right.
wedding.
I don't
Can
think
you
I ever
believe
got
that?
them back, Larry.
I don't think you ever. They were pillars, and I was getting married, and I was having this big wedding over at the Civic Center.
A
It was
beautiful
called
wedding.
the Civic Center then
Yeah.
in those days, not the Dow Event Center. And Sylvia graciously said, "Yeah, you can use them." And that was the beginning of a friendship that has lasted all these years. But we're going to talk a little bit more about that as we go into. We're going to go into commercial right now, and we'll come back with Sylvia Ortega.
Art Lewis here for Thalen Honda, North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. And as you know, new vehicle supplies are very low. So I suggest you stop into Thalen Honda to secure a new Honda on order while you can. And with gas prices where they are, remember that Honda was ranked first among all full-line automakers in the 2021 EPA report at 29.1 miles per gallon, 3.7 miles per gallon higher than the industry average for the 2020 model year. Plus, the 2022 Honda Civic won the prestigious North American Car of the Year award. And in addition, the Honda Ridgeline was ranked first among the longest-lasting trucks. Visit Thalen Honda on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City today to see what's in the pipeline. Reserve the car of your dreams before it's too late. By the way, if you're looking to move up with a pre-owned vehicle, the Thalen dealerships have one of the largest inventories in the Great Lakes Bay region, all inspected and ready for immediate delivery. Check them out online at thinkthalen.com. The Thalen family's been serving your automotive needs for over 45 years.
School's out for summer, but if your business is running QuickBooks, you'll never get a break. QuickBooks manual processes, integration difficulties, and glitchy delays will leave you scrambling for the numbers you need. Failing to graduate to NetSuite will leave you stuck in summer school while your friends party. NetSuite by Oracle is the #1 cloud financial system, no matter how big your business grows. With visibility and control of your financials, inventory, HR, e-commerce, and more. NetSuite is everything you need to grow, all in one place. That's why NetSuite is the #1 cloud financial system, used by over 29,000 growing businesses. Automate your process with NetSuite and close your books in no time. 93% of surveyed businesses increase their visibility and control since graduating from QuickBooks to NetSuite. Right now, NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind financing program, so graduating has never been easier. Head to netsuite.com/radar right now. netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Global stocks are little changed this morning. U.S. markets are closed for the Juneteenth national holiday. The pause comes after a brutal week for stocks after the Federal Reserve raised its key interest rate by 0.75% to combat inflation. We'll find out this week how large U.S. banks have been holding up with higher interest rates and inflation. On Thursday, the Federal Reserve releases results of its annual bank stress tests. Bank dividends and share buybacks are limited unless they can pass those tests. There's another sign you could be facing airline delays or cancellations if you travel to Europe this summer. Low-cost airline EasyJet is cutting thousands more flights this summer. London's Gatwick and Amsterdam airports have reduced capacity and it's dealing with staff shortages. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Rising home values mean that you could have more home equity than you might imagine. And if you're considering a refi, an expertly chosen loan from Loan Depot could save you thousands. Ask about their smart term loans, cash out, and over 300 loan options to find just the right mortgage loan for you. Call now, 866-888-LOAN, or go to loandepot.com. Loan Depot, where home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Equal housing opportunity lender. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Menards has everything you need to make your home a better place to live. Save big money on all the top products from Procter & Gamble, like Tide laundry detergent, Dawn dish soap, Bounty paper towels, and more. No gimmicks, no limits, just savings. Right now, get 11% off Menards' wide selection of Procter & Gamble products. Good through June 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Meet Boost, the
Be a fizzing amazing vitamin boost that turn your H2O into H2O, so you feel like
I like to boost it. My vitamins can boost it. I like to boost it. We like to boost it.
because it's not just vitamins, it's Boost. Be a fizzing amazing vitamin boost.
Find Boost, the vitamin boosts, at Walmart or Walmart.com and give yourself a boost with Boost.
Ground ball through the middle and into center field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Spencer Torkelson. Throw way up the line. RBI, 2-out single for Willie Castro.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back. We're here in the Alpha Media Studios, and I'm Larry Rodarte filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. And my guest today is Sylvia Garcia Ortega, owner of Shaper's Aveda Lifestyle Salon, as well as her son, Donovan Ortega. We're going to talk more with Donovan as we go into the show, but I want to make sure that everybody knows who Sylvia is, because I know everybody knows her out there in the community, but you can see her face on the live stream today and you can hear her story because it's quite a story. If you look at the trajectory of her career, you know, she is a young girl born over on the east side of Saginaw. I think it was 11th Street. And I know a lot of stuff of history about you. And, you know, she goes on to become this entrepreneur that has had a business in the township, Saginaw Township, for over 30 years, 33 years this year. And that's quite a feat for anybody. And I just want to ask you, Sylvia, you know, how hard was it for you 33 years ago to get the Golden Touch, change it into Shapers the Salon, and start the business that you did?
Well, it was a dream. It was a salon that had 2 stories, you know, it was up and down, and it had a different feeling to it than other salons, and I wanted it really bad. And my husband Danny and myself and some other people, we just started working on it, and it's amazing what paint and wallpaper and changing some stuff around can make it look good.
And you mentioned Jacobson's. Now, you were working at Jacobson's as a hairstylist as well. And I know many of our listeners know the Jacobson's Down store. What a gem that was during the heyday of downtown Saginaw. And, yeah. And I think I may have seen you there, but I didn't know you personally. And it wasn't until you actually opened up Shapers. And like I said, in 1995 is when I got to meet you. And, you know, what's really nice about this story, the Garcia Ortega story, is that the family's in the business. And what I mean by that, of course, is that she has 2 sons, Angelo Ortega and Donovan Ortega, who are the owners, along with Sylvia now, of Shapers the Salon. I still call it Shapers the Salon, but the official name, Donovan, is what?
Shapers Aveda Lifestyle Salon.
Yeah. And they are all owners, the 3 of them. And I want Sylvia here to tell me a little bit about her life today with her sons kind of at the helm now of the business. And what's that like for you?
Well, I have an easy life now. Like the boys say, my hours start from 11 to 2. I feel very blessed because today I can enjoy life. Angelo and Donovan totally run the business. I'm still behind the chair, interacting with my clients that I absolutely love. And so I have a great life, and they gave me a great package. So I'm pretty blessed.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know Sylvia is a spiritual person, and I know that your family, your sister, not Betty, Martha. How could I forget Martha? You know, Martha Reyes. You know, and I think that's played a part of your success. What did you say? Your spirituality and your faith?
Yeah. I mean, even my sister Martha had a uniform business, Unique Uniforms. My sister Betty, she still helps. She helped us in both businesses. You know, she is a part of it. You know, she helps us on Fridays. My sister Betty, my sister Martha, all the sisters get together. We make it a point to make time for each other.
And they're great cooks. I know your sisters are great cooks, and I love the little tamales that they make at your
That's
your
my sister
opening.
Janie.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, Donovan, you have grown up in the business. I know you were so young when I first met your mom. You boys were probably, my gosh, under 10 at least, under maybe even in your case 5. And what was it like for you watching your mother running this business, this hairstyle?
Business? I did grow up in the salon. When I went to White Pine Middle School, which is right behind the salon.
Remember when I would drop my niece Becky off, and there you were going?
You thought I was a teacher.
Yeah, and I said, "Who's that tall kid going?" I said, "Who's that?" No, that's a student.
Yeah, and we lived above the salon, so I'd walk home from school, and then I had chores in the house and in the salon, so I had to take out the trash, help out with the towels. So we grew up right in the salon, but when we were growing up, we didn't think that was going to be our career trajectory. We didn't think that we were going to be in the salon.
Yeah. In fact, Angela used to clean the salon.
Yeah, Angela would clean the salon at nights. I would do stuff during the day, and then life just kind of happened, right? Angela ended up going to cosmetology school in Cincinnati, and then took a job in Atlanta, working for one of the top Aveda salons in the country. And then I went to Northwood University. And then we always thought that we would open up a business together, but we didn't really know what. And then it just felt natural to go into the hair industry.
Yeah. And it's been very successful for you. I am a client of both the salons. I've had Sylvia cut my hair. I've had Angelo cut my hair for years. He's done a great job. I remember when he first got out of cosmetology school, and he came and back home, and he started cutting my hair, and it took him a long time. I remember that first haircut, but it was one of the best haircuts that I've ever had. And I wish he could replicate that again. But, so Don Angelo's came about in Uptown Bay City. What year did you guys start, and how'd that start?
So as years went on, Angela and I always said we would open up another location, and we didn't know where. Honestly, our dream was Traverse City, until one day the Shaheen family came to us, the three of us, and said they were going to open up a new development in Bay City, and they showed us the plans for what Uptown was going to be, and the three of us like, this is awesome, this is perfect. I think this is where the second move is going to be.
Well, let me stop you right there, because I want to talk about Uptown for a minute, because I mean it's incredible if you drive to Uptown today. I remember going there for an appointment with Angelo, and all of a sudden it's like this city sprung up out of nowhere. I know. It's like its own city, Uptown Bay City, because I mean Bay City is really cool altogether. I mean, the old part in Old Town there, but the Uptown, I'm telling you, all of a sudden you got a hotel across the street from Don Angelo's, and then you got the restaurants. You got Jose Costillo, a great friend to all of us, who's got his steakhouse over
one of my
there.
favorite restaurants, for sure. Great spot.
And remember the fish? What was the fish?
Real seafood.
Real seafood. Yes. Sylvia took me there when I had one of the exchange students come in. Remember, we went there, and I mean, it's just really incredible. What's it like as a business owner down there?
It's a great area. Honestly, I start my mornings there every morning, and it's great driving in, and there's so much energy there in the morning. We have great business partners, a great coffee shop right next door to us, Live Oak. We talk about Vinny's. He's got the Uptown Grill and the pizza place, Vinny's Pizza. And there's constantly more growing. There's always something going down there. It's got like this hustle and bustle. It feels like a big city.
They even got a hospital now.
Yeah, there's a hospital.
Like a whole hospital sprung up McLaren. I'm like, what the heck?
It's crazy because it feels like you're in a big city. It feels like you're like, like in a thriving area of like Dallas or Detroit or something like that. So it's great to have that energy down there.
Yeah, and everything is newly developed. I mean, it's just beautiful. I love going down there.
I want to work there.
Well, we have to go into commercial again. I got to get used to these different breaks from my show, but we'll be back more and talk with Sylvia and Donovan.
At Wildfire Credit Union, loan rates are low and cash is back. Borrow for the things you want. Consolidate high-interest credit cards, or refinance a loan and watch your monthly payments go down. We have members who save thousands of dollars. You can save too and get cash back.
It's coming back, round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend.
It's easy to open a new loan or move an existing one to Wildfire. Just call, click, or come by any Wildfire branch in Saginaw, Midland, or Bay City and ask for cash back now through the end of August. We've got great rates and personalized solutions for your borrowing needs. Enjoy the things you want. Save money with lower monthly payments. Plus, get cash back.
It's coming back round again. Cash is back. Tell a friend. It's coming back.
Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better.
Cash is back. Tell a friend.
New loans only, subject to credit approval, equal housing lender.
Annette Glenn believes defunding police is radical and dangerous. Michigan's murder rate, 14th highest in the nation. Violent crime, above the national average. Annette Glenn backed more funding for police to keep us safe. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and include a 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Uma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hey Dad, cool if I change this?
They may not get each other's music, but they can both get a COVID-19 booster shot. Because the CDC recommends booster shots for people 12 years and older after completion of a primary series. Schedule an appointment as soon as you are eligible. Sponsored by BioNTech and Pfizer.
Parents, it's time to cross off life insurance from your to-do list. With Fabric, protecting your family with great term life insurance is easy, fast, all online, and affordable. Fabric's policies start at less than $1 a day. You could be approved on the spot with no health exam and no risk. Cancel anytime. Stop putting it off. Apply today at meetfabric.com/future. That's MEET fabric.com/future. Fabric Insurance Agency policies issued by Vantis Life. Not available in New York and Montana. Prices subject to underwriting and health questions.
You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
And we're back. We're back here on the Art Lewis Show. I am your host today, filling in for Art, Larry Rodarte. And I'm so happy to be talking with some good friends of mine from Shapers, the Salon and Day Spa, which is Shapers Aveda Salon and Day Spa. They have also, they are owners of Don Angelo's Aveda Lifestyle Salon. And they are successful business owners both in Saginaw Township and in Bay City. And we were talking before we went into break about Uptown Bay City, where Don Angelo's is. And like I said, every time I go over there, it's like there's always new development. There is apartments going up. There is the hotel went up. It's a beautiful hotel. And what else is new, Donovan? What's going on in Uptown?
Well, there's constant building going on over there. I think last year, 2 years ago, the new dentist offices opened up and new apartments right in the beginning entrance. There's a whole new area where they call it River's Edge. That's going up. More apartments and businesses are going in there. So it's exciting seeing all those all the development going on.
And you mentioned your favorite restaurant there, the Brazilian Steakhouse, owner Jose Costilla is a good friend of all of us. Tell me a little bit about that.
Costello's is great. They've had to change their menu a little bit because of COVID, but I mean, amazing steak. Sarah, my wife, left to go there and get appetizers. They make the best steamed mussels. They're delicious.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Ramiro Castillo is also still there with him, with his brother.
Amazing chef, honestly.
So isn't that amazing? You know, we have Latino businesses, you know, where you have a mother and her sons working, and then you have a brother over there with the Costilla family, with owners of not only the steakhouse, but many of the restaurants, the Mexican restaurants, Coco Locos. You know, he's got quite a big chain there that's happening. So, you know, really proud of that, because, and I tell this story every time I talk about Jose, you know, I mean, 15 years ago, he was a migrant worker. They were all migrant workers that came to this area from San Juan, Texas. And here he is the owner of at least 5 restaurants in the Great Lakes Bay region. So that is truly a success story. And we're going to have him on the program one of these days when he's not so tied up in the restaurant business. But, you know, it's just amazing to me. I want to mention that, you know, we are live streaming here on the program, on the Art Lewis Show. And we have 2 gals that are friends of yours, I guess. Angela Blanco, she says, working and listening to my gente, Hola Ortega family. And we know Angela Blanco, Mika, as she's known. And her sister's working as well. She says, good morning, Sylvia and Donovan. Love seeing the boys doing big things in the community. So you got your big supporters, and they've always been supporters, haven't they? You know, I want to ask Sylvia, you know, because here she's the leader of the band, if you will. And here she has this successful business. But how does that make you feel to see the boys doing so well, Sylvia? And you can get emotional if you want, but I just think that that's an important question for all those that know you.
Extremely proud. I can even see I have a granddaughter who the other day was combing her dad's hair, and I, as a grandmother looking at that, I'm like, wow, you know, it's going to be in her. It's already in her. Not that we wanted to go into that field, but, you know, she is raised with that, with her mother and her father and her grandmother and her uncle. I just feel that watching the guys grow up, they always cared about me and the business. And it's just fun to see what they're doing. They're always in the kitchen, trying to find a new way of doing things, a better way to serve our clients. You know, what can we do for our employees? And they're just always, it's like a little more, they're always thinking and just trying to improve it. Because in today it's a little harder in business, in our field today. Things are changing so rapidly, and just trying to keep up with all that. So yeah, I'm a proud mom.
And, you know, she mentions about, you know, always trying to better the business and what they can do for the employees. And I've been the recipient of going to their parties. They have great parties where there's great food. I haven't been recently, I think because of the pandemic. You know, we kind of all had to step back or whatever, but hopefully I'll get the invites now that we're kind of coming out of the dark, as I've said. But I want to know, Sylvia, what advice would you give to any young entrepreneur that may want to start in your field or in your business?
Well, it's a lot of work. First of all, I would pray about it. And second of all, you have to have a passion for what you're doing, because it's going to take a lot of sacrifice and a lot of time. And you have to love what you're doing. If you don't love it, then don't do it.
Mm-hmm. And so we have to go back into another commercial, unfortunately, but we're going to continue on this journey, the story of the Ortega's family and their salons. We'll be right back.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
Here's a question for you. Why is it that some people aren't as stressed out about the future as you'd think they'd be? Answer: they're probably among the millions of Americans who have prepared themselves with emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. If the worst ever happens, literally millions of American families are already protected from dealing with empty store shelves. Is yours? If not, go to MyPatriotSupply.com right now and grab some emergency food kits, at least one for each member of your family. These kits give you a wide variety of delicious meals that average over 2,000 calories per day. Everything stays fresh for up to 25 years in storage. Order your kits now by going to MyPatriotSupply.com. Your order will ship fast and arrive discreetly in unmarked boxes. Listen, this is something you need to jump on now, before the next news headline stuns the world. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Welcome to the Everyday Hotel. You'll be on the second floor and your other room will be on the 14th.
Wait, we asked for connecting rooms? These are 12 floors apart.
We tried, ma'am, but technically they're only 11 floors apart. We don't have a 13th floor.
We can't be 11 floors away from our kids.
I don't see a problem.
Stuart!
When you want separate rooms, but not that separate, it matters where you stay. Only Hilton offers confirmed connecting rooms at the time of booking. Hilton, for the stay.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
That rosé you recommended was a hit. What should we try for more fun in the sun this weekend?
This silver tequila makes a refreshing tequila sunrise.
Perfect. Wow, that price is refreshing too.
Love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
All season long, Detroit Tigers baseball is on WSGW. Green.
The 1-0, swinging a little pop fly into left center, and that ball is going to drop in for a base hit. Riley Green loops one in. First at bat. He's 1 for 1, batting 1,000.
Tigers baseball, brought to you in part by Ed Raymond's in Chesaning, Lingo Equipment Company, Stan's Gold Mine. Your home for Detroit Tigers baseball is WSGW.
Hello, we're back. And if you don't recognize my voice here on the Art Lewis Show, it's because I'm filling in for Art. I'm Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air. And I've had a blast today so far. We've got Sylvia, Garcia Ortega, and her son Donovan Ortega, who are the owners of some of the most beautiful salons that I've seen and been and patronized. And I want to ask Donovan, because this is an important question for anybody who's in business. They often talk about don't go into business with family. And obviously, this is a family-run business, mother and 2 sons. But what is it like working with your brother Angelo?
Angelo and I have a very great dynamic because we're the same, but we're also different too. Because Angelo's very artistic; he's great with his hands.
Yes.
I'm more, I want to say more analytical, but I actually like doing the paperwork stuff. So that's what works out. That's what gives our dynamic, and what makes it work. And we talk on a regular basis, and we look at stuff differently, so that makes it work. And also he's the person I can trust the most, so it makes it a whole lot easier too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, when we look at the trajectory of Sylvia's life, you went from working kind of as a migrant family, because before you were born, your family were migrant workers.
yeah.
You are the baby of 5,
Mhm.
and you're a one-woman entrepreneur today with these salons. What are your thoughts, Sylvia? I mean, what are you feeling today in 2022? Because I tease you all the time about being a Trojan back in the 60s with my cousin Rosie Guevara, right? So come on, tell me what you're feeling today.
I feel good. I'm able to, like I said, enjoy life now because of my sons, and I can take off for the weekend. I can go up to Traverse City.
Yeah, you got a place in Traverse City,
I
the
can go up to
casita,
Traverse.
but you sold the casita and now you have another place.
Yeah, we're working on that, and it's just nice to get away and not having. People aren't blessed like I am. Like some business owners, they leave and they're worried about their business because it's a 24-hour gig.
Yeah.
You have a business and you're thinking about it 24 hours. With me, I can go because I know that I don't have to worry about that. Angelo and Donovan take care of everything as it is. So
Yeah, what a relief.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And when you were asking Donovan, I'm sure it wasn't easy for them because when you go into business as a family, and it's hard to let go. In the beginning, it was very hard for me the things that they wanted to do and where they wanted to take it, to let go. And so, and be honest, there was some arguments and, debates, and, it's not easy as a family business, but then on the other side, it's great too.
Well, I want to mention real quick, Johnny Estrada, he's a listener. He's saying, listening in, I remember Sylvia's dad and mom when I used to patronize him in La Azteca store.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks for being there and listening. And also Joe Rama says, looking great, Uncle Donovan. So we got family in the house here today. I want to know, in your opinion, Donovan, what is it that would you say brings people back to Shapers and Don Angelo's? Let's talk about what draws people to the salon.
That's a good question. We try really hard to give a great service and a great experience at our salons. Like for example, today, Angelo, he's teaching class for our newer stylists, and that's pretty much the cornerstone of our business is education and also the experience that we give to our guests. And that's really important to us, and that we do it consistently. I think that's what kind of sets us apart.
And tell me the relationship real quick about Evada, because that's an important part of your salons as well.
Extremely important part of our salon. We've been with Evada for over 25 years. It's a great cosmetic company. They were one of the first green companies. They're always striving to be more green, more environmentally friendly, which is great. And it was based by professionals that work in the industry. So it makes it a whole lot better because they know what hairdressers want and need to do great hair. So it's a great partnership.
And a lot of it's natural products, correct?
Yeah, natural based, yeah.
Pure,
yes. Well, tell my listeners, Donovan, real quick, like if they're contemplating getting their hair done or something, what number would they call for both salons?
So for Shapers in Saginaw, the phone number there is 989-793-3771. And then for Don Angelo's in Bay City, it's 989-316-2002. And then we're open Mondays through Fridays now. We're closed on Saturdays now.
No,
I got to go to work after this.
So there you go. Well, I got to tell you, my cousin David Guevara is listening out there in San Diego, California, and he says, Larry, did she know my sister Rosie?
Oh yeah.
Yes, and she was at parties that Rosie would have over what street was that? Gallagher.
Yeah.
You remember that way back in the day? And she had this hair that was sticking up and frizzy. And you remember? I seen the pictures from your mom, David. So it's great to have you both here in the studios, and I am just thrilled that I have the opportunity to talk with you guys because we haven't talked in quite a while. And part of our relationship stems from the Mid-Michigan Hispanic Business Association. I think that's where Sylvia and I really became good friends, and we need to build that back. And I think Donovan's going to help us with that. And it's time, because we have a lot of young Hispanic entrepreneurs as well in the community that are starting up businesses, and I think it would be a great asset to the Great Lakes Bay region in itself. So thank you so much for being with me. It went really fast, didn't it?
Yeah, super fast.
And Sylvia was nervous as heck. And I said, don't be nervous. It's just going to be a conversation. But, I'm really thrilled that we were able to have you today on the Art Lewis Show as I'm filling in for Art Lewis, because, it's a thrill for me as well. We're prime time here on the radio on WSGW on 100.5 FM and 790 AM. And I am saying to everybody out there, to my listeners, go support and patronize Shapers, the Salon and Day Spa, as well as Don Angelo's in Uptown Bay City, because these are great salons that can make you look beautiful.
Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
We appreciate
Larry.
that.
Thank you so much. We will be back in the next hour with a rock and roll legend, Bobby Balderrama.
What's the most important part of a retirement plan?
Income is king, because we only need income. And if you don't have an income plan, you don't have a retirement plan.
That's Kevin Ray, financial coach at Insight Folios. Kevin tells his listeners every week about the importance of income planning, minimizing taxes, and strategies to lead a worry-free retirement. Learn all about that and get your own complimentary financial review by calling 888-885-PLAN. That's 888-885-7526.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR. But with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply, and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for the Ogama County Fair. You are going to get the Ogama County Fair Ultimate Package for only $129.50. The Ultimate 2022 Fair Package gets you 2 concert tickets to see Sawyer Brown on August 19th, 4 gate passes, 4 home-cooked dinners, including drinks and dessert, and 4 grandstand passes. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
This is Kareem Bowen, the host of United Shades of Grey, Conversations of Race in America. This week, our guest will be Michael Frazier, author of the book Surviving the Storm, Finding Life After Death, and America psychologist Dr. Jeffrey Garcia. Tune in.
United Shades of Grey, Sunday evenings at 7 on WSGW.
On the next Markley Van Camp and Robin show,
new White House spin, just be glad you have a car.
Next up, indoor plumbing.
And in between rolling blackouts, you have electricity.
Markley Van Camp and Robbins, weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
So we're back here at the Alpha Media Studios on the Art Lewis Show. I'm your host today, filling in for Art, Larry Rodarte, host of Mi Gente on Air. And we had a fabulous show. What do you think, Jonathan Dunn? I mean, Sylvia, Ortega, Garcia, Donovan, Ortega, great entrepreneurs.
Great conversation. They're doing good things here in the region here in Saginaw Bay City.
And for years, they've been making people beautiful. And I'm just kind of saying that with a pun, but you know, they really have. To have a business 33 years, a successful business that has really made an impact, and then to see it, you know, spawn off to a new one, a new salon. So we're going to come back as well with an entrepreneur who is in the music business, rock and roll legend here in Saginaw with Bobby Balderrama.
From the premier kitchen and bath gallery studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Welcome to another day of chaos at the airport. At least 1,400 flights have already been canceled after tens of thousands were scrapped since Thursday. Correspondent Tom Foti takes a closer look.
They didn't tell them why it was canceled, but they canceled everybody's flight.
The weather has been a bit of a factor, but airlines say staffing shortages have been the much bigger ones.
The airlines are running pretty much bare bones.
Aviation expert Douglas Moss.
They don't have adequate backups. They don't have adequate reserves.
Just in time for the summer solstice, a searing heat wave across a wide swath of the country. National Weather Service meteorologist Mark Chenard.
A lot of the country is going to remain hot at times through the upcoming week. The core of the heat wave will start to be centered over the northern plains into the Midwest.
There's triple-digit heat expected in Minneapolis. People in central Minnesota bracing for what will feel like 106. Congressional investigators hold another public hearing on the January 6th attack tomorrow. Correspondent Scott McFarland is on Capitol Hill.
After showing the pressure campaign from former President Trump on then Vice President Mike Pence last week, this week, the January 6th committee says it is focusing on Trump's pressing of local election officials to overturn the 2020 election.
Over the weekend, Mr. Trump attended rallies in Tennessee and Mississippi, continuing to insist he won the election. He also renewed attacks on Mike Pence. Some parents are breathing a sigh of relief. Others asking, is it really necessary? As vaccines become available this week for children as young as 6 months old. Epidemiologist Celine Gounder at NYU School of Medicine.
Both vaccines do produce good antibody levels that are correlated with good protection. The numbers of infections that we saw in the trials were very small.
She says fever was the most common side effect from the COVID vaccines. British researchers say they've come up with a way to diagnose Alzheimer's with a single scan. CBS's Vicky Barker has details from London.
In their initial trial of 400 people, some with Alzheimer's, some with other neurological disorders, some absolutely healthy, the algorithm was 98% successful in identifying which were the Alzheimer's patients. This in a single MRI scan, as opposed to the multiple scans and tests normally needed for diagnosis.
The Louisville, Kentucky Police Department says Mayor Greg Fisher's doing fine after he was punched in the city's entertainment district Saturday night. The mayor tells our affiliate WLKY.
We're living in strange times.
Police say they're still looking for the suspect who is pictured on surveillance video. This is CBS News.
Hiring is a lot easier with Indeed. Their powerful platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
ServiceMaster by Fuson, your fire, water, and storm damage restoration experts. Did you know if your home or business has experienced damages of any kind, whether it be from a fire, flood, or smoke, it's crucial that you get the quality, timely restoration services you need so that you can quickly get back to normal. With 24/7 emergency services, ServiceMaster by Fuson offers commercial and residential restoration services. Visit ServiceMasterByFuson.com or call them at 989-200-4929. ServiceMaster by Fuson, restoring peace of mind.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Rob tried to manage his constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating day after day. After realizing it was irritable bowel syndrome with constipation or IBS-C, he found another way and finally said yes to adding Linzess.
Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than laxatives. It lets you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by AbbVie and Ironwood Pharmaceuticals.
Live
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Cloudy skies and 65 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. State police are investigating a shooting that took place last night. The shooting occurred around 9:30 in the 3200 block of Bundy. Police say a male victim was killed by a gunshot wound. There is no information about any suspects at this time. Bangor Township Schools plans to break ground on a synthetic turf and track resurfacing project inside of Albert E. Johnson Stadium this summer. The district says the existing track surface has become delaminated and unsuitable for competition due to years-long drainage issues within the stadium. The track has required resurfacing multiple times over the past decade and caused the district to spend thousands of dollars annually in concrete, fencing, and field repairs to maintain a suitable playing surface and spectator area. The new turf field will be multi-purpose, including lines for football and soccer, as well as markings for spring sports such as softball and lacrosse. A comprehensive drainage solution will be installed on the playing surface before the resurfacing project. After weeks of intense rehearsals by training by professional teaching artists, 20 rising stars in the Great Lakes Bay region will take the stage performing the smash hit High School Musical from June 23rd through the 25th at the Midland Center for the Arts. The creative team is led by Broadway veteran and director Logan Jones, a U of M graduate who was an original cast member of the Broadway hit SpongeBob musical and Clueless off-Broadway. He's joined by music director Paul Helm, with regional credits including A Charlie Brown Christmas at First Stage Children's Theater and Murder for Two at the Hippodrome Theater. Performances take place each night at 8 p.m. on the outdoor stage. Tickets are available online at midlandcenter.org, at the ticket office, or by calling 989-631-8250. WSGW News Time, 10:07.
The fundraisers are done. The time has come to party. Join us now through Sunday. It's the 72nd Annual St. Stan's Polish Festival. Plenty of bands, 4 fun-filled days of polka music, along with homemade Polish and American food, games for all ages, including cornhole, raffles, an 80 by 210-foot entertainment tent with a 40 by 80-foot dance floor, and the Skirbeck Family Carnival and its amazing Midway. Where? 2501 John Solinsky Drive, Bay City. Visit us on Facebook for the band lineups and all the special events, including Kids Day on Saturday. The 72nd Annual St. Stan's Polish Festival is going on now through Sunday.
Hurry into Menards and get 11% off everything. Cool off while adding style with a new ceiling fan. From traditional to modern, small room to great room. We have the best selection of fans in stock, so you'll be sure to find the perfect one for your home. Right now, Hunter ceiling fans are 11% off at Menards. Good through June 26th. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
WSGW News Time, 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced that major road projects are expected to begin this week in Iosco, Ogama, Saginaw, Tuscola, and Washtenaw counties. MDOT projects include the M55 bridge repair project in Ogama and Iosco counties, the M46 resurfacing project in Saginaw and Tuscola counties, and the next phase of work on the M17 resurfacing project in Washtenaw County. The investments are expected to support over 283 jobs. Preschool kids may be exposed to sneaky ads when using some apps, according to a new study. Michigan News Network's health reporter, Dr. Deanna Lights, has this report.
Researchers from the University of Michigan analyzed apps used by 160 children ages 3 to 5.
What we found is that the apps that they're using, 80% of them contain persuasive efforts to try to get them to become basically consumers.
That's Scott Campbell, professor of communications and media at the university.
For example, forcing pressure for them to stay on the app so that maybe their behavior can be tracked or that they can be exposed to advertising.
The study also finds young children whose parents have less education and low income are more likely to use apps incorporating these sneaky ads and messages.
A Ford plant in Dearborn had 13 F-150 Raptors stolen, the second theft from one of their facilities in the past week. Police have arrested one suspect and have managed to retrieve multiple trucks in nearby cities. Authorities continue to investigate the incident and will soon release a more detailed report. The recent thefts could lead to higher insurance rates for Dearborn residents. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology forecast. For today, we'll have lingering showers and storms, especially through midday, otherwise mostly cloudy skies with high temperatures into the upper 80s. Then for tonight, gradually clearing skies will drop back to a low of 66. Trending hotter for your Tuesday, working up into the mid-90s for high temperatures under lots of sunshine. And for your Wednesday, that stretch of sunny weather looks to continue. We'll work up to a 31. Not as hot for your Thursday, still a good deal of sunshine, easing back to 83. I'm meteorologist Michael Caro with the WSGW Weatherology forecast. Currently 65 degrees.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Good morning and welcome to the Art Lewis Show. I'm Larry Rodarte, filling in for Art Lewis, and today we're going to talk rock and roll. On today's show, we're going to talk music, the great unifier. We know this, and it takes a special talent to be wrapped up in music throughout a lifetime. And I'm really excited to be filling in for Art Lewis today. It's a great opportunity for me, and I just think it's an opportunity that I have thought about in the past and didn't realize it was going to happen this quick. But I have a really special guest today who started playing music very young, way back in the early 1960s. And he helped start a rock and roll group that has cemented their status in rock and roll history. They are called the greatest garage band ever. He is a Mysterian, and his name is Robert Lee Balderrama, known affectionately as Bobby to many. Yet he and the group shot up the charts in 1966, if many of you remember, with Question Mark and the Mysterians with the number one hit, 96 Tears. They were the cool band, and the Mysterians, well, were mysterious, right? Their song hit among other number ones by the Four Tops and the Monkees. It really was an incredible feat for 5 Latinos from the Saginaw Bay region. And after 55 years, can you imagine, he is climbing the charts again with his current hit, which is called Any Moment, with Lasonic, as Robert Lee is featured in a style of music he has always loved, jazz. So please help me welcome to the Art Lewis Show today, the legend, Robert Lee Balderrama, known as Bobby.
Thank you, Larry, for having me on.
Thank you for being with me, Bobby. Really, it's, always a pleasure to see you. And I'm so glad that we're coming out of the dark of the pandemic, and we have you on this show because, my God, we can talk such great history, right? Rock and roll history. We're in a whole different world from 1966, of course, and you've had a long career in music. How does it feel for you to be riding the top of the jazz charts again today?
It's like a dream come true, Larry. I've always dreamed about it. I was always playing rock and roll and playing instrumentals when the band first started. And so smooth jazz has always been my love. And then when George Benson came out with smooth jazz, I knew that was for me, and so I followed his career and see how that was going, because he got into the mainstream music with his guitar playing, and so that was my dream to do that.
So tell me, Bobby, and tell my listeners, who is Bobby Balderrama? Where did you come from? Where did the Balderramas come from? Because that's quite a mouthful in a name. So let my listeners know who you are and where you came from.
Yeah, my parents were from just a little bit of west of San Antonio, Bigfoot and Divine, Texas, that area right there, and my parents were. Go ahead.
Kind of, but from like Uvalde. In that area?
Close to Uvalde, I'm not sure how close it is because I was never raised there, but that's where they were from. It was called Bigfoot, Texas. I don't know if there was ever a Bigfoot there, but I always thought about that name, but that's the area that they were from. And I never lived there because my parents were migrant workers. And so we traveled all over Texas, and up to Michigan and stuff like that. But my parents were my dad played guitar, he played accordion. He loved to play music. And so in our family, there's a lot of Balderamas that have been into the music. I got a cousin passed away a couple of years ago. Enrique Balderrama was very famous in Texas. He was a movie actor, and he had a band called La Patria. And they were really famous in Texas. And he released, I don't know, 20 or 30 albums, I'm pretty sure. And he very famous. So I was really influenced by him, watching him, and my dad would talk about him, that he played in nightclubs. And I go, wow, that would be great to play in nightclubs,
Mm-hmm.
And so the Balderrama family has always been involved in music.
So let's go back to 1962.
Okay.
You are a young musician. I mean, young.
Yeah.
We're talking 12 years old.
Yeah.
And how did the idea to start a rock and roll band come to a Mexican living in Saginaw in the Great Lakes Bay region?
Yep. But what it was like I was always into the ventures, instrumentals. That was really popular in the early '60s. Instrumentals, the ventures. There was a whole bunch of bands, Dwayne Eddy, and they were all instrumentals. And I fell in love with that kind of music because I really didn't want to be a singer. I wanted to be a guitar player. So my dad taught me how to play guitar. My brother did. He played in a Polish polka band in Bay City. His name was Henry Balderrama. And so I was influenced by them, but rock and roll, being young, it was really the fad, when you're that young. And so my sisters followed Elvis, Elvis Presley, they all loved him, and so I always thought he was a great singer and great dancer and everything. So, but I never really saw him play much guitar, so I wasn't really into his music as far as like the ventures, that there was melodic instrumentals that they did, and I fell in love with that style. Even though jazz was my first love, but it just was way over my head, and so instrumentals like Walk Don't Run, they were easy to play because of the melodies. So I would say at 12 years old, I was totally influenced by my family, but also by the music on the radio.
That was big. That was popping.
Yeah.
Because Elvis was popping, obviously, the British invasion and everything
Yeah.
else. But who helped you get started at 12 years of age? Because it wasn't just you. You invited your cousin.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was my nephew, Larry Borges. Me and him used to practice, and he would come out. My parents bought a farm in Bay City, and we bought 40 acres. So he would come out, and we would help my dad, work the farm, run the tractors or whatever, pick pickles, because we were used to that anyway. So, but we owned the land. And anyway, we would practice. Me and Larry would practice on the guitars, and then we started learning songs. And one day we were practicing over his house, and his ma, which was my sister, she said, you guys should start a band, get a drummer, and I was thinking, wow, that's a great idea, And my nephew Larry, he goes, well, I don't know. I just want to play guitar, I said, let's start a band, and so we were practicing over Larry's house, my sister's house, and Robert Martinez showed up, and he had a pair of bongos with him. So we started jamming, and Robert played the bongos, and I could tell he had a great beat. I mean, his timing was impeccable. Even though I wasn't that good of a guitar player, I could tell his timing was really good. So I asked him if would he be interested in starting a band. He goes, yeah. So we started practicing at my parents' farm in the garage. So we actually were a garage band.
Wow. And Robert comes from the Martinez family, which lived across the street from St. Mary's, the cathedral, right here in Saginaw, and he hails from a migrant family as well.
Yep.
And so that was 1962, correct?
1962, yeah.
Wow, I can't believe that. At 12 years of age, you started a band. And tell me, how did our good friend, come into the picture?
Well, we did a couple gigs, and it was really fun doing it. And we weren't making that much money, but it was just fun playing, and people enjoying the band. But everybody started asking, "Well, you guys play any songs with vocals, singing?" And I go, "Oh no, here we go." And they're gonna start asking for a singer, and I just was so much into the instrumentals, and I said, "No, we just play instrumentals." And they said, "Well, you guys need a singer, every time we play someplace." So I told Robert and Larry, I said, we need to get a singer. As much as I didn't want to, but it seemed like the instrumentals were going out. The fad of instrumentals was going out, and singing, because of the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, singing was being more prominent.
And boom, question mark is coming in the picture. We're going to come back from commercial break, and we're going to talk about that because that's so pivotal in the history of your question mark and the Mysterians.
Annette Glenn believes defunding police is radical and dangerous. Michigan's murder rate, 14th highest in the nation. Violent crime, above the national average. Annette Glenn backed more funding for police to keep us safe. Paid for by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Let's face it, credit cards are pretty much a necessity.
New tires for the car? Here's my card.
I order takeout, use my card. And most of us just accept the high interest rates credit cards charge as a necessary evil.
What are you going to do?
Get a low fixed-rate credit card consolidation loan from Lightstream from $5,000 to $100,000 and pay off those credit card balances. Apply online, and you could get your money as soon as the day you apply. The average credit card company charges over 19% APR, but with Lightstream, you can get a fixed rate as low as 5.73% APR with autopay and excellent credit.
Now I can pay off my high-interest credit cards and save money with a much lower rate.
Apply today at lightstream.com/radio and get an additional interest rate discount. That's lightstream.com/radio. Lightstream.com/radio.
Subject to credit approval. Rates range from 5.73% APR to 19.99% APR and included 0.5% autopay discount. Lowest rate requires excellent credit. Terms and conditions apply and offers are subject to change without notice. Visit lightstream.com/radio for more information.
Napa know-how. At Napa, when you take care of your ride, we take care of you. That's why a $25 digital gift card can be yours when you buy 10 quarts of Pennzoil Platinum Full Synthetic Motor Oil products at Napa Auto Parts. That's a reward for rewarding your ride and a way to treat yourself after treating your motor. So give your ride the premium motor oil it deserves and get rewarded in return.
Napa know-how.
Offer ends 10/31/22. Void where prohibited. Terms apply. For complete details, visit pennzoil.com/rewards.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Wall Street has the day off for Juneteenth. Financial firms are continuing to speculate on the impact of inflation and higher interest rates on the economy. Nomura economists are predicting the U.S. economy will probably endure a mild recession by the end of this year. They say financial conditions are likely to tighten further. Energy and food supply disruptions have worsened, and consumer sentiment is significantly negative. Airports are packed with people willing to pay more to travel as they schedule long-delayed vacations this summer, but there are growing questions about whether the airlines can continue to survive by charging more. Industry economist Marie Owens-Thompson of the International Air Transport Association says demand could fade into next year. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
If you're fed up with cable news, it's time for Greta Van Susteren. Greta is back with the real news on Newsmax. Tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern tonight to watch The Record with Greta Van Susteren and our new lineup with Rob Schmidt, Eric Bowling, and more. Newsmax is on all major cable systems and streaming platforms. Or download the free Newsmax app on your phone. Watch Greta Van Susteren tonight. Make the switch to Newsmax. It's real news for real people.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681.
Ground ball to the middle and into center field, a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Spencer Torkelson. Throw way up the line. RBI, 2-out single for Willie Castro.
The Tigers play 6:50 tonight on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Good morning. I'm Larry Rodarte filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show. And today we've got a rock and roll legend who's in the house, and we're talking about the genesis of Question Mark and the Mysterians. And we all know of them, the local group that went big, and they hit the #1 spot on Billboard magazine in 1966 in October with 96 Tears, that great anthem, that rock and roll anthem that has stuck around all these years. And what I'm talking about is 60 years. Bobby, we're talking about you starting the band in 1962.
Yep.
That's 60 years ago.
I know it.
60 years ago. Yes. Wow, what longevity. Tell us how Question Mark came into the picture.
Yeah, so I told the guys in the band, Larry and Robert, I said, we got to get a singer because I didn't want to sing. I sang one song with Wooly Bully, but it was something that I was always kind of shy, shy guy, so all I wanted to do was stare at my guitar, not the audience, So he said, well, my brother sings, and I said, well, who's your brother? He goes, Rudy Martinez, and I said, well, why don't you bring him over? So he brought him over, and we learned a couple of Rolling Stone songs. I think we learned like Satisfaction. And Question Mark sang it, and I was like blown away. He sounded like Mick Jagger.
Really?
And he could dance. I mean, I think I had mentioned it before. He danced like a girl. He could move his hips, and then he did the splits on the floor, and everything. I was like, wow.
So he was doing what Elvis was doing before Elvis, maybe.
Yeah, I never seen Elvis do the splits like Question Mark. He went all the way down to the floor.
Yeah. The magical question, when you first met him, he came to your house or where?
Yeah.
To the farm, your parents' farm?
Yeah.
Was he wearing sunglasses then?
No, no, it wasn't. No. But you know what? He liked to wear sunglasses, and so we hired him, and after that we started playing teen gigs, teen dances, and we started doing stuff like that, and then we had a friend. We were playing for the GI Forum, and
the American GI Forum.
The American GI Forum, and they really liked the band, and so we played a few gigs for them. But there was a guy named Dave Torres that really enjoyed the band, so he came up to us and
the artist David Torres, yes,
from Dow Chemical. He was the artist. And he said he wanted to talk to us, so we had a meeting with him, and he said he was interested in being a manager if we were interested. I go, yeah, we definitely need a manager.
And you guys are teenagers.
Yeah,
right?
we're kids.
What do you know about managing a band or anything like that?
Yeah. So he was an older. I don't know how old he was, but he was an elder to me. When you're 12 years old, everybody's older than you.
Yeah.
And so I looked at him. I said, yeah, it would be great to have a manager. So he had drawn. We had a meeting with him with the whole band. It was Richie's Drive-In on Dixie in Genesee, and we had a meeting with him. And he drew these great big pictures of the band, and he had us all wearing, like what do you call those people? Like the Mexican singers that sing in the restaurants.
The mariachis.
Mariachis. he had the mariachi outfits, right? You know, and they were really beautiful. I really liked them. Then he had the big sombrero, you know, and I said, you know, Dave, I said the sombrero's got to go, man. I can't see on stage trying to balance off a big sombrero, but I love the outfits, you know. And I said, yeah, the outfits. And he said that he was going to give us each a letter, and he gave me X, he gave Robert Y, and gave Larry Z, and gave question mark, because question mark. He said he knows he wears sunglasses a lot, and he looked mysterious, so he gave him the name question mark, and he told question mark to wear the sunglasses and stay incognito. You know, don't let nobody know who you are.
To keep that persona.
Yeah. And he told us, he said, Bobby goes, when they ask you your name, he says, tell them your ex. You know, so we were playing down in Adrian. GI Forum got us a gig in Adrian, and there was some beautiful Mexican girls there, you know, and like I was 12, 13 years old, and you look at girls, but you don't really, you're that young, you don't really know a whole lot. And she came up to me and she goes, oh, you're cute, you know. She said, what's your name? And I said, X. And she goes, what? And I said, X. And she goes, oh man, you're weird. So I said, no, my name is Bobby, before she got away.
And you ended up marrying her.
No, I didn't. But you know what? I felt so embarrassed. You know, it's almost like peer pressure.
Yeah.
You know, you want to fit in, you know, and so I couldn't use X.
So how did the Mysterian name come about for you guys?
Yeah. Me and Larry were watching, it was back in the 60s, on Saturday afternoon, they had this matinee, and it was like Godzilla, Japanese type movies, Godzilla, the old black and white ones.
Godzilla.
Yeah, and they had all these different monsters or creatures, you know, that Japanese came up with. Then when they were watching it, and it was the Mysterians, was the name of the movie.
Really?
And it was about these aliens from Mars invaded Earth, stealing the women. and so my nephew Larry says, wow, that's a great name to have, the Mysterians. I don't know, you know, let me think about it, you know. And I would say to myself for about a few days, I go, here they are, the Mysterians, you know. And I go, wow, it does sound good, you know. And so I agreed with Larry, so we used the name. And then one day, question mark got us a gig through Bob Dell, WTAC, because we weren't called question mark Mysterians, we were called the Mysterians, but we each of us had a letter, and question mark had question mark. So when question mark Rudy got a hold of Bob Dell and WTAC, you know, he had asked him, he had offered his gig at Mount Holly, and Bob Dell asked him, well, what's your name? He goes, question mark. So in the what do you call it, an ad I heard on the radio, playing at Mount Holly, question mark and the Mysterians.
Wow.
You know, and I go, wow, that sounds pretty cool.
And that was the bit. What year would you say that was?
That was probably 1964, something like that, after a couple of years.
Can you believe that we're talking about this here on the Art Lewis Show back in the 60s, the genesis of a great rock and roll band, the greatest garage band ever. You guys are known as question mark and the Mysterians. I want to know, Bobby, what was it like for you when you heard 96 Tears for the first time on the radio?
That was like a dream come true, you know, because I used to wait for the bus early in the morning when I lived out in the country. It'd be dark and I could see the lights coming, you know, and I listened to the radio. And I remember us recording the song, you know, and all of a sudden it's getting played on the radio. And the first time I heard it, I was like, wow, it's coming out of that radio with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. I just heard their music on the radio and they're playing ours, you know. Wow. And to me, it felt like we were right there with them, you know. I don't know if you can understand what I'm saying.
I can't, because obviously I didn't experience it, and very few people could because we weren't the ones involved. Yeah. But I mean, honestly, you know, nobody can say that really in the Saginaw area.
Right.
Besides you guys.
Yep.
Maybe Greta Van Fleet and what they're kind of doing, you know.
Stevie Wonder.
Stevie Wonder, of course, but Stevie, he was born here but wasn't raised here, really.
Raised in Detroit,
But I mean, you guys were actually right here in the Saginaw. They called it Saginaw Valley back in those days. Remember the Tri-Cities or what have you? Because some of you were born not only in this area, but in Bay City as well. Correct?
I was born in Texas. I don't know.
I mean that you came here and lived in Bay City and in Saginaw. And I think a few years back, Bay City actually gave you guys the title as 96 Years as the rock and roll song of the city.
Song of Bay City,
Yeah. So, wow. I mean, it's incredible for me to look back and know the history of this group and this song because it has played a big part in Saginaw history. But we're going to talk more about that when we come back out of break with Bobby Balderrama.
Thank you.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier. In Empower Your Retirement, they talk about how a well-thought-out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving and thriving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning at 8. Firm provides insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
And Doug.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
You and your phone have been through a lot this past year. It's been your lifeline to the world. And now some big wireless company is telling you got to buy a new phone from them and sign their contract? They don't control you. With TracFone Wireless, you can keep the phone, number, and network you already have. Already got a 5G phone? Keep that too. Because TracFone runs on America's best networks now with 5G nationwide. Plus, we've got unlimited talk and text smartphone plans starting at just $20. TracFone Wireless. Now you're in control. 5G nationwide access requires a 5G capable device. Actual availability, coverage, and speed may...
This is it. Your last chance to win the new $15 million prize of a lifetime from Publishers Clearinghouse. There are just days left to enter to win $15 million on June 30th. So you must enter at PCH.com before it's too late. $15 million, all for you. But time is running out, so enter now at PCH.com. The $15 million prize of a lifetime. Don't miss your last chance to win it this June 30th. Enter now at PCH.com. Entries due 6/28. No purchase necessary. Prize paid at least $390,000 annually. Void or prohibited.
If you owe the IRS back taxes, then get ready to pay up. The IRS has giant private collection agencies actively tracking down folks who owe the IRS. So if you think dodging them was stressful in the past, it's going to get a whole lot tougher. Optima Tax Relief has this advice. Don't wait. Solve your tax problems now before it's too late. Optima Tax Relief works to stop the demand letters, stop the aggressive collection actions, and stop the IRS collectors from targeting you. Ask Optima about the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. If you qualify, you could save thousands, and nobody knows this program better than they do. Optima is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, and they get results, having resolved over $1 billion of tax debt for their clients. Get a fresh start. Call today for your free consultation. Call 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188. 800-364-9188.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
I love my Charmin Super Mega Golden Gold last longest. It's TP Gold, yeah. Charmin's got 6 rows in one. Lasts forever on my buns. Only Super Mega when I'm cleaning. Charmin's got my booty believing.
Charmin Super Mega Roll is 6 regular rolls in one. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
Broadcasting from the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios. This is WSGW.
Welcome back. Good morning. I'm Larry Rodarte, filling in for the great Art Lewis, who's on vacation, and we're here on the Art Lewis Show. And I've got Bobby Balderrama from Question Mark on the Mysterians, and he's telling us the genesis of that great rock and roll band. And we're talking about 96 Tears. So tell me, how did that come about for the group? Because you're playing you're covering songs, and you're playing teen gigs, and all of a sudden, what happens with the genesis of 96 Tears?
What happened was Larry and Robert Martinez, Larry Borges, Robert Martinez, they were of age and during the Vietnam War, and they were getting drafted. So they joined the Army as a buddy system, so we had to replace them when we got Eddie Serrato and Frank Lugo. And we recorded 96 Tears.
In Bay City?
Yeah, in Bay City at Sheila's Recording Studio. It's on Raymond Street. They even got a plaque right in front of the house talking about it. But we were practicing over Frankie's house, and I started playing G to C, going back and forth. I used to practice these bar chords so I wouldn't look at my fretboard and I'd hit it, and go back and forth. And then Frankie started playing the keyboard, ding, 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 and then Eddie started
that great riff.
Yeah, the great riff that made 96 Tears. And then Eddie started playing the drums, and Question Mark just started singing, He said he wrote the lyrics way before that. I don't know.
Well, I remember him telling me he heard that the riff, I guess.
Yeah.
The music that you guys were producing, he had heard it somewhere in his head.
Right.
He couldn't put a finger on it, but it was something that kind of like he felt that he had actually kind of produced with the man that was playing the piano. Remember the old man that owned the store downtown Saginaw?
That's what he said,
yeah. And so when he kind of heard the riff that Frank and you guys were playing, it came to him. And what is amazing to me, and I don't know if many listeners out there know, is that you guys recorded that basically almost on one take. Couple takes going into it, but
it was a few takes. I don't remember how many, but we were getting a buzz, so we had the engineer Art. His name was Art Shields, and he said, I'm getting a buzz, so we had to move things around, but we eventually got it. And
wait, I thought you were talking you had a buzz.
No,
you're talking about in the music, in the instruments. There was a
buzz. There was like a hum coming through the amplifier. And then we had Rudy Gonzalez from Rudy and the Reno Bops. He was kind of like the producer, and then we did it a few times, and all of a sudden Rudy said, "That's it, that's the one," and so we were done, and it was a great recording, and the name. If you want me to tell you about how the name came about.
Sure.
Yeah, when we were practicing it and learning the song, Eddie Serrato, the drummer, he said, what are you going to call the song, Question Mark? He goes, well, I'm thinking I'll call it Too Many Teardrops. And he goes, why don't we give it a title like with a number? And I'm thinking, where's he going with that? And he said, I said, well, what idea are you thinking of? He goes, what about 69 Tears? And I'm thinking, I was like 15, years old, and I was still kind of new, to life. And so I'm thinking, I know that's not a good number, but I didn't really know.
At 15, Bobby,
yeah,
you knew already.
But you have your doubts.
Yeah,
when you're that young. So, and he says, why don't we turn the number around to 96? And I go, man, that's catchy. And Question Mark agreed with that, and we all agreed, and that's how we came up with the name 96 Tears.
Too Many Teardrops.
Yeah.
Wow, that's an incredible story. And what was it like for you and the guys to be on American Bandstand with Dick Clark?
It was amazing because Dick Clark was just the nicest guy, I mean, we would talk to him, and he was just I used to watch American Bandstand every Saturday, and I'd see Dick Clark there, and it was always kind of funny because they always rated these songs, and one of the words they would say is phrases, and it's got a beat, you can dance to it, and so I was very familiar with American Bandstand. So when we did the show, it was exciting, it was really exciting, and see all the people on the bleachers, and but our song hadn't made it yet in California. Even when we went to go do it, they never even heard the song.
Really?
But it had been predicted by somebody in New York. I can't think of. He would predict what song would make number one, and he predicted our song was going to be number one. And it did.
Wow, it did. It knocked the Monkees out, right? The Monkees
Yep.
had The Last Train to Clarkston.
Yep.
And then in October of 1966, towards Halloween,
Yep.
5 young guys from Saginaw, Michigan, hit the top of the charts on Billboard.
Yeah, we
magazine.
were on top of it. It's just it was amazing.
Wow, that's just an incredible story. And nobody has really, that feat has not been duplicated.
No,
really.
it's
Not
hard
that I know of. So, well, we're going to come back out of break and we're going to talk and wrap it up with Bobby Balderrama of Question Mark and the Mysterians and talk about this great legendary song and band.
There are a lot of decisions to make before you decide to spend your hard-earned money. How will it benefit me? Which features stand out? How much does it cost? And is it the best value? You need knowledgeable people helping you make the best decisions. Somebody that knows what they're talking about. Whether you're remodeling, dining out, planning your financial future, or making the right choices in running your business. The members of the Independent Business Association of Saginaw County are your best trusted source. The IBASC businesses serve this area with expertise, professionalism, and some of the best customer service anywhere. When you visit their website, ibasag.com, you'll find them. They're your neighbors who live and work in Saginaw County. They own local businesses and provide jobs to hundreds of residents. They're volunteers. They donate their time and money to local charitable organizations and care about your community. Keep the dollars here. Spend at the locally owned companies that make up the IBASC. People you know, businesses you can trust. For more information on these great businesses, visit ibasag.com.
This is what camping sounds like when you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP. And this is what camping sounds like when you have Inspire and don't need a CPAP. If you have sleep apnea and struggle with CPAP, Inspire could work for you. Inspire works inside the body and keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com.
Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Doug.
Chances are you're jamming in your car right now. And since Liberty Mutual customizes car insurance so you only pay for what you need, Limu and I are going to show you some safe car dance moves. Hit it. Everybody, check your blind spots real quick. Now hands on the wheel. Put them 10 and 2 and move your head like a bird do. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
WSGW is looking for pictures you capture of storm damage, fires, traffic crashes, and more, plus positive and inspirational scenes, too. You can be a contributor to the WSGW News team when you witness breaking news. Our newsroom is your newsroom as we team up together to cover the Great Lakes Bay region on air and online with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Welcome back. I'm Larry Rodarte here on the Art Lewis Show, filling in for Art, and we've got Bobby Balderrama here, and I want to talk with Bobby, ask him a few more questions because, I mean, we've got limited time to talk with Bobby, and, you know, it's hard to get him in the studio. He's so busy these days, but, you know, that song, 96 Tears, it still sounds good today. It has stood up with the test of time. It is still, when you first hear that the riff coming in and all, I mean, you get this. There's like this moment that you feel cool, and you think of Question Mark with those sunglasses, and you guys all young out there playing that great anthem, that great classic song. I mean, it is a classic, and it has been covered by so many artists, from Aretha Franklin, and I know there were so many, that have covered it through the years, but for 7 decades, you have been playing music, you've been, you played that song and so many other great songs that, sometimes they say you're one-hit wonders, but you really weren't. You had all kinds of songs.
Yeah, we had songs that went, made it in the top 40, but none of them hit number one, like 96 Years. Like, so I suspect that if you don't hit number one, like your last one, then you're considered a one-hit wonder.
Yeah, I mean, you guys came out and bang, hit number one just like that. I mean, and like you mentioned, the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, and did you get to see any of those groups in the heyday of rock and roll history, where you performed with them? Or
I remember we played in Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, and the Rolling Stones played that same. It was like a hall by Jacksonville Beach, and the Rolling Stones played there a week before us. And we played after them.
Wow!
So they were still kind of like, not a super band yet, when back in the 60s. And then we had a chance to, I think Mick Jagger had this song called "Let's Spend the Night Together," and we were in New York City at the time playing, and our producer got a hold of us and told us not to leave the hotel because Ed Sullivan was going to cancel out the Rolling Stones because of the words of the song, and so he said he wanted them to let's spend some time together instead of night, and so Mick Jagger said he would. So we were waiting at the hotel if we got that call, if they were going to cancel out the Rolling Stones, and I guess Mick Jagger made an agreement with Ed Sullivan that he wasn't going to sing it like the record. But then when he did it live, he sang it. He didn't tell the truth. He sang it like the record.
Well, Bobby, you have all kinds of knowledge about, rock and roll history because you actually lived it. I mean, you lived it, and, you're here from Saginaw, Michigan. I want to talk a little bit about Robert Lee in your projects today, because now you're kind of going by Robert Lee.
Yeah.
And you're not going by X, right?
Yeah.
The Mysterians.
I gave that one up real quick.
But let's talk a little bit about what happened this year, because 2022 has been a great year for you with Any Moment. Tell me about that.
A good friend of mine that I worked with in 2015, he got a hold of me and wanted me to help him write a song. He had 4 notes, he goes, if you can write a song with these 4 notes, he's a singer too. So I took those 4 notes. He didn't tell me what to write, but I was more into smooth jazz, and I wrote a slow song, and me and Frank Rodriguez put it together. We sent it to him, and he took great musicians. The guy that's playing the trumpet on Any Moment, you'll hear him on CBS Morning News when he's doing the trumpet on there. And anyway, he turned into a masterpiece. And when my wife heard it, she said that song's gonna be number 1, and she was right. It made number 1, and it went number 1 on Media Base. It went number 1 on Billboard. And here's the plaque right here, where it went number 1. And I had this made. My manager had this made, and it's got the record, and it's got Billboard, Media Base, and Smooth Jazz Network. Went number 1 in all 3 of them.
Wow, what a feat!
I know.
So
that was
so many years after you got into the business, and here you are in 2022, 60 years after you started Question Mark and the Mysterians, and you're still playing. I mean, nobody can say that hardly.
I know.
Very few. So you've really been blessed, Bobby. Really been blessed. And I want you to talk about what happened a few years back that led you to 96 Tears Day and the homeless concert that you put on.
Well, I had I had prostate cancer, and I've been it's been 5 years now. But I used to, when I was sick, I would be watching TV, and I seen all these homeless people all over the country, especially in LA. And I'm thinking, they don't deserve to be in that situation. Maybe they're mentally something wrong, or that they got an addiction or something. But our country should be there to help them out. And I believe in shelter first, because you got to have a shelter, and I've seen stories where women had a job and they had an apartment. One lady had a kid, and the apartment went up so high she had to live in a car and take her kid to school and go to work. So to me, I believe in the 96 Tears Day was a homeless concert to make awareness to all the people that homeless shouldn't be allowed. They should have shelter.
Yeah.
When they got shelter, that's the bottom line to start your life. If you don't got a place to live, how are you going to get a job? How are you going to, all that stuff. So to me, homeless shelter is really important. And that's why I did the 96 Tears Day, just for awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with Bobby reaching the top of the charts again, with Any Moment, the jazz song, and then what he does with the homeless concert, he's a great steward in the Great Lakes Bay region. And that was why the committee for the Cinco de Mayo Parade and Festival this year selected Bobby Balderrama to be the Grand Marshal. What was that experience like?
Oh, that was amazing. It was so great. I know that the parade hasn't been done in a few years because of the pandemic, but everybody out there I waved at, and they smiled at me, and I had my guitar, and people hollered, play it. It was just a great time, Larry. Well, thank you for inviting me.
Well, it was an honor for us to select you because, honestly, 60 years in the music business, and, when we have seen so many greats, through in this nation, it is very humbling for me to say that, Saginaw has a great rock and roll band.
Yeah.
You guys are all still here, except for Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie Serrato
passed away a few years ago.
Yes, but you guys are still, here, and you're playing still with the Mysterians.
Yeah.
You got a gig coming up, right? And you've been playing all along. So that's an incredible feat too.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing at the Taco Fest in Lake Orion this Friday.
Yeah, everybody, the Taco Fest at Canterbury. Oh my God, in Lake Orion.
Yeah,
it is phenomenal. It's a phenomenal event. It's going to be huge. Right. And question mark, the Mysterians are going to be but the Mysterians.
The Mysterians.
The Mysterians are going to be.
I would love question mark to be there, but he doesn't want to perform no more.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I also wanted to mention about our new song that's just coming out. I'll Be the One.
I'll Be the One. We'll talk about that when we come back out of break.
Imagine this: a day filled with indulgence, bursting with excitement, and packed with extraordinary moments that build memories to last a lifetime. A day that is unmistakably yours, at the place that is undeniably spectacular. Whether you're winning big, dining lavishly, or relaxing oh so comfortably, it's your getaway reimagined. It's Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort.
Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
I'm firing up the grill for burgers and want to impress the neighbors.
This bourbon has a smoky flavor that'll go great with your grilling.
Nice! Wow, and look at that price. Well done.
I prefer medium rare. Your neighbors will love it. Love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More. Pickup and delivery available at TotalWine.com. Drink responsibly, B21.
The economy is heading for a total disaster. The Fed must choose between a stock market and housing market crash or hyperinflation. Hi, this is Stephen K. Bannon, and I urge you to diversify your retirement savings into physical gold today. To help you get started, my friends at Birch Gold have created a free information kit on gold IRAs. To get your free copy, just text SHELTER to 989898. There's no obligation or purchase required. Again, that's SHELTER to 989898.
Hey guys, the Royal Management Team has gathered you here in Yield Conference Room to announce that thanks to all your hard work, the granary has enjoyed record profits this year. Nice. That said, there still isn't room in the budget for raises, but we will be providing gift cards to Grimwald's Tavern. Really? I'm sorry, I've been informed they are actually coupons, not gift cards.
Throughout history, people have always been underpaid. That's why Monster lets you search jobs by salary. Find your job at monster.com or download the app.
Welcome back, and I'm Larry Rodarte. I'm filling in for Art Lewis on the Art Lewis Show, and we got Bobby Balderrama, and it has gone so fast this hour that we have to pretty much wrap it up here. And up next is going to be Pat Johnson filling in on Focus for Art. And Bobby, tell me what is next with your song,
Yep.
I'll Be the One.
Yeah, it just came out a couple weeks ago. It's called I'll Be the One. It's got Lauren Beluzzo singing in it, a girl that sang on America's Got Talent.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I don't mean to cut you off, but we've got to go. But thank you so much, Bobby Balderrama, for being with us today. Bobby Balderrama. That's how you say it. Thank you so much. You are a true class act. Thank you so much, everyone. Here, Larry Rodarte on The Art Lewis Show.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by NHTSA.
I'm Steve Kathan, the CEO at United